Hello, everyone. This is Daddy Warbucks, and today we are beginning a new campaign playthrough. We are going to be playing the Tomb of Annihilation, following our completion of the Lost Mines of Phandelver. In the span of time since our party has finished their encounters in Wave Echo Cave, it's been about a week, a 10-day, as they're called in the Forgotten Realms. And in that 10-day, since they were triumphant in Wave Echo Cave, if I could just real briefly, what were the five of you doing in town?
Individually or all together?
Individually, all together. Just hit me with what would you be doing with your newfound downtime? And yes,
Danny would be preaching the good words of the gatekeeper, trying to spread his religion to these wonderful people, and telling them, embellishing on how bad the undead are and how that ilk needs to be rid from this world for all eternity, and everyone needs to do whatever they can to get rid of undeath.
Yes. Okay. Some good old-fashioned proselytizing. That sounds good.
That's right.
All right. And then who else? What would we be doing?
Zalt had to go give the shield back that he stole, technically, from the provisions. He'd probably help them get the stuff from the cave back. And
Okay.
then actually buy himself a new shield that, he bought legally. And then, a couple provisions, like some thieves' tools and stuff.
Okay.
And then I would have gone up to Gib and had a conversation with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Because Zalt, after being revived and having time to rest and recovered, he's got more of his senses to him. And he realized that his friend Gib, who he's been traveling with for a bit, always needs to soak every day, and he would ask him more about that.
Oh, yes. That's what Gib would be doing during this time, by the way. He would just be taking some real long baths.
Just resting in the water. Is Gibbs' bath just clear, like clean water, or does he do the bath bombs and special spices and smells and shit, or?
No, it's just regular water.
Oh, okay, all right. You don't like to pamper yourself, huh?
Zalt wonder, Gib.
You see, skin is very, and he kind of squeezes his skin a little bit and shows you that it kind of oozes. It's very sticky. It's poison, yes. Takes a lot of water to make all skin poison at all times, so must soak every day.
What happened if Gib no soak?
Oh, it not good. It make me very tired and sick.
So when on adventure, Zalt can make water, but Zalt cannot make bath.
Well, as long as we have something I can fit in, which honestly isn't that difficult. And you fill it with water, it'll work.
Zalt had idea. Zalt was in provisions and saw a tent. Zalt think we could take tent and put upside down and sew the sides and fill with water. And then when Gib not needs sleep, we can put back together and be on our way. Zalt don't sleep. Zalt just kind of, self-repair. For not long. So Zalt can wake up early, make bath.
Well, that would be really nice. I would appreciate that. That does sound like a good idea.
Okay, Zalt, go find a tent.
Okay, we can assume that Barthens would have one that you could pick up easy, right? And Disco, you could have inspiration. He's so helpful. All right, so Zolt and Gib, they have this plan where they're going to try and keep Gib from drying out. Dangerous is out proselytizing, preaching the good word in the streets of Phandalin. What are Jeff and Ersk doing in this first 10 day of downtime?
Would be helping to load provisions and get them back to town, and finding as many tankard bottoms as he can.
Okay, solid plan. And Jeff?
Well, for Jeff, there's three things, and he's gonna fail at all of those three things, but that's okay. The first thing is, you know how much he has failed with daggers so far. Has picked up the dagger that Gib gave him last time, and he says, "I will practice with this dagger until I stop cutting myself with it. Ow, damn it!" And he will, for many days, practice against a target at 1 meter of distance. How can he fail? He's that bad. But that's okay because he has conviction. The second thing, he tries to think of new songs, and he has bought, with his share of the money, some quill, some paper, and some rope, because rope is useful. And he writes some songs sometimes, and he starts to make some rhyme, but then he realized that the songs are crap. Ah, shite! He put the paper away. But the third thing that he's failing a bit less at is studying the arcane, like, the weave, yes. I think I'm starting to understand it better, yes, yeah. He's starting to understand things a bit more, starting to be wiser with time. That's what he's doing.
Excellent. All right, and also during this period of downtime, our mad wizard Dulaine says his heartfelt goodbyes as he seeks a life among the hills and herds as he moves off to the ranch. And as he leaves, he just kind of aloofly exits the group. So, that's our first 10 day, right? That's our first week after Wave Echo Cave. On what would be the 11th day, Zolt starts to become ill. Which is strange, because he's a warforged. He's not a biological creature of flesh and blood. But even though he wouldn't really be prone to sickness or disease, you see him start to deteriorate. He's losing energy. He complains of being weak. And as you guys continue in town, you begin to hear talk in the streets and in the taverns. First person who would get wind of this would be Ersk, who is hanging out in the tavern. They begin to talk about this elusive death curse, a wasting disease that is afflicting everyone who's ever been raised from the dead. It is said that the victims grow thinner and weaker each day, slowly and steadily sliding towards the death they once denied. And when they finally succumb, they can't be raised. And the rumors say that nobody can. That anyone who succumbs to the death, it is a permanent one. Temples and divine scholars, after another day or so, temples and divine scholars are in a panic as divine magic fails at discerning a reason for this mysterious curse. And as the news continues to spread, it seems to be not just this region, not just the Sword Coast, but this seems to be a worldwide event. So we'll say it's been 2 days since Zolt has first become sick. It's now a global occurrence. Everyone is panicking. Well, how would you guys react?
The second Ersk heard about it, he would have went to find Dangerous. Like that very second, and kind of tried to
hear about it.
Coming to the inn.
Yeah, I would come to the inn after my prophesizing, and I would immediately go over to wherever I found Zolt, and I would use my most powerful healing magic on them to see if that helps.
Okay, you will find that it does not. Healing magics have no effect.
seeing that fail would worry me to the extreme. So I don't think we can make a trip back home, my friend, with you in this condition. I don't know where any of my temples are in this realm. Is there a major religion in the area that I know of? I mean, there must be people that are adversely against my prophesizing.
Here in Phandalin, there's only the Shrine of Luck, right, with Sister Garail, and she's not offended by your proselytizing at all. As far as similar, remember the god you worship is in another realm, but would be similarly aligned gods like Kelemvor, who you would probably find a temple in Neverwinter.
I would. We need to make it to a larger city. This place, we can't find our answers here. We must go to the nearest large city and seek answers from those who guard against the undead there.
Yeah, I know.
This
You can't exactly like die
We
like.
need to go now. We
That's
have supplies. How far away is this place? We need to go. Neverwinter?
You've been there before. That's where the party originally met before traveling to Phandalin. It's several hours by foot.
I'm getting my stuff together to go.
First would be going along with dangerous because
I'll go to the shopkeeper and like, I need to use your cart to transport my ill friend.
Whoa.
Okay, wait. How ill am I right now? Can I not walk?
Yes. Mechanically, your faculties are unaffected.
Okay.
So let's take a break for a moment and let's talk about the mechanics of the death curse, right? Because as we have learned, Zolt is affected. So Zolt, here are the effects of the death curse. Any humanoid on the planet that has been brought back from the dead begins to waste away. Their hit point maximum is reduced by 10. So right now, whatever your hit point maximum is, you reduce it by 10. And it will continue to decrease by 1 every midnight until the death curse is destroyed. For purposes of tracking, it's a long rest. Whenever we take a long rest, your hit point maximum is reduced by 1. A humanoid whose hit point maximum is reduced cannot increase or restore it by any means. This is true whether the hit point maximum is reduced by the soulmonger or by some other effect. So if you fight a wraith or a wight or something that reduces your hit point maximum, you're super screwed. If a humanoid dies anywhere on the planet, they cannot be revived as reasons. And any spell that would return someone from the dead, i.e. Revivify, Raise Dead, Resurrection, True Resurrection, and Wish, automatically fail if cast on a humanoid who is under the death curse. And that is it. So, mechanically, your hit point maximum is reduced by 10, but all other character effects are unaffected.
And every time we effectively long rest, it goes down by 1 more.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, and as a caster, that's scary.
I don't have long for this world.
No, you do not. No.
At least it's not Jeff. Jeff has like 10 HP.
Not quite. All right, so back to the panic. We're going to Neverwinter, right? Okay. So you go to Barthen, was it? And you were going to ask for a cart?
Yeah, I don't want my friend. He's unwell. I don't want him to have to walk it. Maybe he can walk it. Maybe he can't. I don't care.
Say no more, friend. I would give anything to the heroes of Phandalin. My cart, my horses, they're yours to take.
Thank you. That's very appreciated. And I get some hay and put it in the cart. It's like, Zoltz, please sit here, and Gib, would you mind driving him? You know how to navigate these.
Yes, I can drive.
Thank you. Okay. And then I start walking along the path to Neverwinter, like taking points to go. Like, I'll take first watch, scouting ahead. We'll deal with whatever threats we find. We need to find a way to save my friend.
Not only that, no, this curse, this dead curse that is slowly killing our friend, didn't come out of nowhere. Didn't come out of a buck of Cracker Jacks. We need to find who did this. We need to stop it.
What are the
Yes.
Cracker Jacks?
Yes, I don't know what Cracker Jacks are either, but he is right. We do need to stop it. Neverwinter should hopefully yield us some answers for his safety.
Okay. So we're gonna travel to Neverwinter, and we're just gonna hand wave that. You guys have the cart and the horses, and I'm assuming we're going at as fast as the horses will allow us. So we reach it in no time, and unharassed. Arriving in Neverwinter, you can see that it's a scene of pandemonium. There are people in the streets that are waving parchments around. It's the end of the world! The end is nigh! There's people waving torches, and they're wearing large cardboard cutout signs on their chest. The end is near. There's people that seem to have attempted to loot a nearby establishment that have run afoul of the city guards. I mean, it is just, people are panicking everywhere. It's because literally there's this curse has affected everyone.
Yes, I would try and find one of the larger temples of Kellenvor or Lathander.
Sure.
One of the two. Try and find.
As you approach the Temple of Kellenvor, you can see the temple is currently closed, and all the Kellenvorites are wearing their gray robes. They are out in front of the temple. They are all on their knees. Some of them are crawling along the ground, and they're all crying. Sometimes they throw their hands up. Oh, Kellenvor, what has happened? Who is this that mucks with the souls of the dead? Why? What have we done to deserve this, Kellenvor?
I approach whoever looks like they're the most senior.
You approach one of them, and he kind of looks up at you. He clasps his hands in a gesture of prayer, and he says, "Please get down, pray with me. It is the end of all things."
End of all things. By what means do you find that?
It is the death curse, and
what? How do you know it of such name? Where is it from, so that we can end it?
oh, hey, Mage Dad, how you doing, man? Hope all is going well. He looks up at you and he says, "But we have no idea. We haven't the foggiest as to what has happened, who has caused it. The only thing that I know is that magics that would restore a soul to its body fail. And I feel it in my heart of hearts. It is because the soul is gone. Whenever someone were to die, the soul is just taken. It's just removed. And with no souls, we are all doomed. Doomed."
The soul must be stored somewhere, stolen somehow. Could you not divine where the souls are?
It is impossible. Our magics reveal nothing. Oh, Kellenvor, why would you have done this to us?
Humans are so dramatic.
Seriously.
It's quite loud, isn't it?
Do I see any? There are no clerics of Kellenvor around.
These are all clerics.
Have you not used the higher magics to try and commune with your god? I am not powerful enough with.
We have.
Gatekeeper.
We have. There
What
is
is this?
nothing.
Nothing. Not how? He is a god. How is there nothing?
Just, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. Spend the little time you have remaining with your friends and family. The end is coming.
I whip my shoulder away and try and break his grip. No, we have to find a solution for this. This can't be the no. This is not the end. We will find an answer.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, and I'm just like at a loss. I don't know the city.
That's okay. Because let's paint a picture, right? You guys frantically, right, scour the city. You approach clergy of every temple that you can find. You go to places and institutions of magic and learning to see if maybe they have ascertained some kind of reason for this curse. Nothing. Nobody knows. And after 2 days of wandering the city, and I accentuate 2 days because Zolt is, yep, he got it. That's right. After 2 days of wandering the city and coming up fruitless, as you were traveling, you are approached. It is a younger woman, and as she approaches you, you can see that she's wearing what looks to be a breastplate with dark blue colored clothes and a like a cowl. As she approaches, you see a very familiar pin on her lapel. It's a silver harp on a blue background.
Oh, good bards. Basically, information from before.
Excuse me. I have heard that the heroes of Phandalin were in Neverwinter and are seeking answers to this death curse. Yes?
Oh, did we find them?
Yeah, we need to find a way to solve this problem. Yes. And any bard that will help us, we'll definitely take it.
Well, my benefactor, Sindra Sylvain, she would like to meet you with you to discuss this matter.
The sooner the better. Let us make it.
Squeak, where is she?
She is here in the city. I will show you to her home if you would follow me.
Yes, indeed. Will you play as a
Heroes of Phandalin going to join us too?
Are you not Ursk the Bugbear?
Yeah.
I was informed that you and your company are the heroes of Phandalin.
We are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're a hero, buddy.
So, the woman guides you through, and eventually you come upon a fairly large mansion, right? It's made of simple stone, but its size is quite intimidating. It's obvious that someone of great wealth and importance lives here. As you approach the door, a uniformed attendant leads you up a grand staircase to the 3rd floor, then ushers you into a wood-paneled room with a fireplace, comfortable chairs, and a heavy table that has at least a dozen silver goblets filled with wine. The darkly paneled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks, shelves, and cabinets hold hundreds more rolled up maps and other curios. There is a person seated in an overstuffed chair near the fire. You can't discern a gender because only the person's head is really visible from under the heavy blanket that's draped over them. And you can see a large mess of silver hair spilling out on top of the blanket. as you walk forward, the person's dry, raspy voice calls out to you. Help yourselves to the wine and seat yourself, friends. I hope I can call you that.
Lady, you seem unwell. Are you affected by this thing, this curse?
I am. I was an adventurer years ago. I died and was raised from the dead by a colleague. And after that, I've since closed the door on that stage of my life. But now the death curse has struck me. I don't know how much longer I'll last before I perish, and the clerics have no help to offer. So, I have called upon my old friends from my adventuring days, assembled resources and contacts from within the factions. I believe that Harper's spies have learned the cause of the death curse.
Tell, we want to stop it.
There is little to be said. We don't know what it is, but we do have an idea as to where. Whatever has caused this malediction, I believe its source is on the Isle of Cholt.
The what now?
The Isle of Chult. How the heck would this happen? Now I wonder if my clan's okay.
Did any of them, like, die and come back?
Yes, some of them have.
You are from Cholt?
Yes.
Oh, I wish I had more time. You see, Cholt is a peninsula ringed with mountains and choked with rainforests. It is patrolled with enormous reptiles, savage goblins, and an army of undead that prowl its jungles and ruins. Mapping the place has always been nigh impossible, and nothing is known about the region's current geography beyond just a few miles from the coast. I would love for you to tell me about your home, but we do not have the time.
Well, yes, we need to make our way to Schultz as soon as possible. Do you know of a ship leaving for it?
Ships? No. We would be dead before we reached its waters. It is far, far away. There is magic in these bones yet still, and when you are ready to depart, I will teleport you all to Port Nyanzaru. It is the only major settlement in Chult. I've been there before, and there's little chance of mishap. And once you're there, you are to meet a friend of mine. His name is Wakanga Otamu. He is one of the 7 merchant princes who rule the city, and he is a friend of ours. He will give you guidance on what to do next.
Do you know of any vendors in the city who might sell us items of magical power?
There are many vendors in the city. Schultz is host to 2 separate bazaars, and then the merchant princes themselves. But that is a discussion you can have with Wakanga.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here in the Neverwinter City, is there somewhere where we might be able to pick up a magical artifact of sorts?
I doubt that would be anything you could just find in a stall, my friend.
Fair enough. Okay. Is there a potion master anywhere nearby? I think that might be. I would want to get some sort of healing potions that we can take with us. Or
Any provisions you need can be picked up inside Port Nyanzaru.
very. I'm a little discombobulated. My friend is dying of this curse, much like you. Must get a cure.
All the more
Yes.
reason for us to hurry.
Zolt died 2 weeks ago. Zolt die again 2 weeks from now.
Is that how much HP you have left?
And I've got 28, but it made better play on words.
Okay.
Anyways.
Zolt, don't be defeatist. We will save you. You will save yourself. We are heroes, remember? You can do it, Zolt. Together we will find the cure to this curse. And we'll do it together.
So Syndra stands up, right?
Bad.
And you can see that she's very frail. And as she walks forward, she says, "Come, come, you must all join hands."
Yeah.
Does anyone have any gloves?
Gib, do not care for poison right now. I care for solving this problem. And he grabs your hand and will make the con save against being poisoned.
Okay, that's what you want to do, man. Yeah, you failed. You're poisoned.
All right, he's a little sick. So Syndra walks forward, and she hands you a piece of paper. Hands you, and you is why not? It's Ersk. Here.
Thank you.
This is the most complete map of the peninsula of Cholt that exists to date.
Oh wow.
And you can see that map has not a whole lot on it. It's just the outsides.
Ersk is gonna like look at the wrong side of it.
Yes, of course.
Give me that, please.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Wow, you guys don't know much at all. Jeez.
I will also give you this. And she holds out a small purse.
Take that. What's inside?
Inside is 30 platinum pieces.
35. There's 5 of us, so each one gets 6.
Yep. She says, "This will help you buy any provisions you will need for your journey."
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, now, hold hands all together now. And she begins to speak a spell in Elvish. And as she speaks, the room is flooded with a brilliant blue light. And a moment later, you guys see that you are in a new environment. Or at least you would be if this pop-out would work. Haha. Hey. You appear in a tropical city under the blazing sun. The familiar sounds of a harbor, creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingle with voices shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruit mixes with the wharfside smells of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all of that, Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of color. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, and pink, or their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mythical heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colorful flowers or is draped in leafy flowering vines. You could see people in bright clothing adorned with feathers and shells perform on street corners. Multicolored pennants and sun awnings flutter atop the city walls, and a crowd of children dressed in feathered hats and capes race past you, squealing in delighted terror as a street performer costumed as a big-toothed reptile stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing. And we are going to change maps. We are going to go
Oh,
to here.
these locals seem to be taking the death curse pretty well.
And we arrive right here. Oh, ping it again. We are here at the edge of the wharf.
No vision.
No vision.
Boo! Boo! Okay. Dynamic lighting off.
There we go.
Hey.
Right here. That is where we are.
All right.
So, give me a moment while I juggle a million handouts. Locations in the city. As we continue to survey the area, you see that you're currently standing outside a large building with a bulletin board that has several pictures pinned outside of it. When you look at these posts on the bulletin board, they look all of them like this. And if you'd like, you can take time reading them. I'm just showing you one as an example. There's a picture of someone's face. The first one you glance at looks like a woman, and you can see that it details, if you need a guide to get you through the jungle alive, then you shall look no further. I was born in the jungle. I know its dangers well and how best to avoid them. Should you choose me, you may rest assured that your party is in safe hands. I charge 5 gold coins per day and require 30-day payment up front. For those adventurers who aid me in a personal quest, I would waive my fee and guide them to places no one else has found. This quest will take us to Firefinger. The evil terror folk that roost atop the Firefinger stole a wooden mask from me, and I want it back. So, would you like to continue looking at the bulletin board, or would we like to move about the city?
Yeah, I want to keep looking. Are there any other posted?
At a first glance, there seems to be almost 10 of these postings. So we take another look, and what we see this time is a dwarvish fellow of particularly fair skin. And this one details, I've stood atop every mountain in Chult. I know every gorge and crevice, every plateau and trail. My memory is an iron trap, and I forget nothing. Trust a dwarf, I always say, because a dwarf will never steer you wrong. Fearless I am. There's no dragon, beast, or undead horror that scares me. You want a guide who runs away at the first sign of danger? No, you want a dwarf, and I'm the toughest dwarf around. Red Dragon bit off my arm, yet here I stand. Takes more than a dragon to stop Hugh Hackenstone. I charge 5 gold coins a day and expect a 30-day payment up front. Best coin you'll ever spend, I promise you.
Does there appear to be anyone on this board that charges more than 5 gold or less than 5 gold?
What I heard is I wanna keep looking at these sheets to see if there's anyone that with a different price.
That's right.
Here's one that catches your eye. It's a pair.
Okay.
And it says, why pay for one guide when you can have 2 for the same price? We have the smarts, the goods, and our own Triceratops. Treasure abounds. When we're done leading you to all the ancient sites and sacred places we know of, you'll be swimming in gold and magic. All the other guides will lead you in circles and make you do all the work. Don't be fooled. When we return to Port Nine Zaru, you will have tales and fortunes enough to last a lifetime. Our price is 5 gold pieces per day with a 30-day payment up front, but we're glad to reduce our rate for equal shares of treasure found.
Hmm.
It looks it dangerous. You really think that we need a guide?
Yes, we do.
You
Do you
realize
know-
I was born here, right?
Okay, and you're good at navigating, and you're a survivalist. Is that what you're telling me?
I've lived in these jungles my whole life.
You're good at surviving and tracking, then is what you're telling me.
Yes.
So
Looking for.
do we know where we're even trying to go before we get one of these guides?
No. No, you were just told to go and speak to Wakanga.
Yeah, I keep looking at the guide or at the board.
Okay, well then, the next one you see is a beautifully adorned woman, and this one says, "While the lure of pillaging the antiquity of Chult is a temptation, I appeal to those who find fulfillment in doing actual good in the world. I seek to rid the jungle of evil. There are many ruins and ancient temples that must be reclaimed, so that the spirits of nature can return to the sacred places and live in peace. There are evil impostors who seek to blind you with promises of gold, but will only guide your throats to their blades. My rates are standard. 5 gold pieces a day, 30-day payment up front. A small portion goes to pay off the merchant Prince Jobal. The rest I give to charity."
That one seems interesting. So I make note of Iku's flyer.
Yep. Keep looking? Okay! We're committed now. We're over halfway done. I'm just gonna go with it.
Thank you.
Every time you read one, Gib gets more and more visibly upset.
So now we're gonna learn about Musharib. "The jungle is my home, and I know it well. I can guide you anywhere in Chult for a fee of 5 gold pieces a day. If adventure is what you seek, join my quest to reclaim Hakramar, my clan's ancestral forge. A volcanic eruption forced us to abandon it many years ago. The fire newts that have since taken over must be driven out or destroyed. At the very least, we must sneak in and recover our relic, known as Moradin's Gauntlet. The fire newts must not be allowed to keep it. If you love dwarven kind, then hear my plea and join me in returning Rakamar to its rightful owners. I will waive my pee. I will waive my pee at you. Damn it! I will waive my fee for your promise of assistance."
This is ridiculous. These are all scams.
I keep looking.
Okay, only 2 remain.
Okay.
The next one shows to Tabaxi. This one says, "Beware Jobal and his no-good flunkies. The merchant prince is as trustworthy as a sack of snakes, as are most of his guides. If you choose us, we will never lead you astray. River and Flask are up to the task. That's our motto. Chult is our playground. We're fast, reliable, and know what we're doing. 5 gold pieces a day and 30-day advance is what Jobal's flunkies demand. We're happy to serve as guides for only 4 pieces a day, with no payment up front. Even better, we'll waive the fee entirely for equal shares of treasure found." And lastly, we have the beautiful Salida. Salida says, "I've led many expeditions through the wilds of Chult. I know secret trails that appear on no other map. Hire others at your own peril. Azaka and Iku have led expeditions into the jungle that have never returned. Farul and Gondolo are charlatans, plain and simple. Old Hugh suffers from mad monkey fever, I'm sure of it. And Musharib is an albino dwarf, and they're not to be trusted. And I hear that River Mist and Flask of Wine owe money to the Zentarum. 5 gold pieces per day is a cheap price to pay for your lives. Spend your gold wisely."
Okay. I think Iku seems like the right choice for us, guys, but we need to speak with the person we were sent here to talk to by first to figure out what's going on, because we need a goal. I have a goal, obviously, to solve this curse, but we need a path, and right now we are aimless.
Yes, completely aimless. And he gives you a look.
Well, do you know where we're supposed to go, Gib? Go ahead, enlighten me, please, since you know everything about this death curse. Tell us where to go first. Come on.
We
Hey,
go
Gil.
to the lady.
Where we going?
Hey,
Where
Gil.
we going? Where we going?
Make a history
Yeah.
check with advantage. I'm sure you've probably been to Port Nyanzaru at least once before.
Surely, Wakanga Otamu was one of the merchant princes of this city. He must be pretty important.
Okay.
The locals must know about him.
Gib, you recall that you are pretty sure the Merchant Prince's villas are in the northern part of Port Nyanzaru.
I would relay that to everyone.
And if
That's
he's
not-
right, it'll lead credence to his "we don't need a guide" spiel. If he's wrong,
I don't think I trust him to be our guy.
You don't trust the guy that literally grew up and was born in the jungles of Chult to be your guide.
Right.
Okay. The same advertisement that these guys have, I have for free.
can we hear? Wait, can we hear Gibbs' guide posting? How would you sell yourself, Gib?
I'm not gonna be able to come up with that on the spot.
The problem is he's so full of himself all of the time. I have a hard time listening to most things he says.
And it's warranted. He's
As if
done so well this entire time.
Because he's so full of him. He's so over the moon in love with himself. And I would
Wait.
have a hard time listening.
Wait, Sensei Smallstab. North is over there.
And say small.
It's like a U. Which north is it? Over there. Or and he points to the other side of the coast. Over there. Where's the villa?
Whichever one it is, like that he remembers. I'm not sure which one he would actually remember it being.
No. You remember that all 7 merchant princes live in the villas to the north.
They all live in the villas to the north.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the town is shaped like a U. This is north, but over there is also north.
Would we be
one
able to see the
us?
villas from where we are?
I do not believe so, because you are here, and if you look at the scale of the town, it is like it's 200 feet just to get out of the wharf.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so the merchant villas, they're like 800 feet away from you, and there's buildings everywhere, and Port Nyanzaru, as you kind of begin to walk away from the wharf and move into the town proper, you could see that it's actually built in tiers, right? Like it's a big, almost, I don't want to say pyramid because that's not quite right, but there's all these different levels to the city that build up and up and up. So as you look deeper into the city, you just see like this wall of like rooftops and building fronts, and it's impossible to tell where exactly you're looking for.
Oh, Gib, who's likely to help us then?
They're all likely to help us. You just have to ask the right questions
Well,
and provide the proper incentives.
you're our guide right now, so you know how to do that, right?
Yes. And Gib would try to. Gib has definitely been here before, but obviously it's been a while since traveling.
Yeah,
across
you've been
the
in the
continent.
Sword Coast.
Yeah. So I mean, he would try to make his way towards where he needs to go. I don't know what kind of a check you'd want me to make.
There's no
to
check.
see if
You
he's
just
successful.
start moving through the city. I mean, Gale has his token here. Let's just assume that's going to represent where the party is.
Yeah.
So, Gale, let's say we move to the end of the wharf. We can go left or we can go right. You can see that there are stairs that lead up to the next tier in either location. And it also looks like the city like wraps around here to the north. Just tell me, which direction would the party want to go?
To the right and up the stairs.
To the right and up the stairs. Cool, cool, cool. So as we travel in that direction, finding the correct handout again. One moment. Like I said, there's so many handouts. As you travel in that direction, you find yourselves moving up onto the first tier of Port Nyanzaru, and standing in front of you, what you see is a number of stalls. All of these things right here, kind of circled around this promenade, right? Those stalls, you can see each one has a word hanging above it. Gibby, do you know Chalton?
Is that a legitimate language?
Yes, it is.
It's not on my sheet.
I didn't think it was. It was a trick question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're unable to read it in the native language, but there is also underneath it in common. Each one is also labeled. Oh, right. There's another handout I need that isn't open already. All right. The first villa that you come to, this one here on the very far left, it says Ikinafa. And as you approach Ikinafa's villa, oops, my mouse is on the wrong profile. That did not copy that at all. Oh, you son of a bitch. You can see that still not on the right profile. Okay. Do me like that. You can see that Ikinafa's stall is filled with ornate weapons. Shields, framed paintings are displayed throughout the stall here. Hold on a minute. I'm reading the wrong thing here. B9 upper level. Nope, wrong thing. Una momento. Merchant's Word, Golden Throne, Kransu, Temple. Sorry, I told you there's a lot. Should be 5. Okay. All right, anyway. Who is typing? All right, anyway, as you move your way around, you can see that all of these stalls have various objects in them. Some of them are very unique and things that you had never seen before. For example, there are shields and weapons. You can also see that some of them carry large boats that are... The closest approximation would be like a canoe, but they're not quite the same. Whereas another one sells these small glass jars that have wax paper draped over them and sealed with rope. Other than those things, would you like to continue inspecting those, or would you like to continue moving through the city?
This is the villa of a certain Akini Afna, not the droid we're looking for.
Oh, I see. Okay, I have found the information. Sorry. Moving forward, continuing to look through the specific wares that are held inside the Merchant Prince's stalls. You see that Akin Afa, you could see that there is a bundle of ammunition, right? Arrows, crossbow bolts. Shungite will not help with the death curse. You can see there are wooden shields, and then you can also see there are daggers, or these also they're weapons that are long, shaped like spears, but the head of the spear is not just an arrowhead; it's like a long sword on the end. And as you approach, the merchant says, "Hey, yes, come to Ikiniafa's and buy weapons both mundane and magical. We have everything you need: ammunition, shields, yulukwa, everything good and great. Magic made here by a Chultan."
Okay. Is anyone interested in this?
No, not interested? How could you not be interested? Look, you have many dagger. Look at these daggers. They are magic made here in Chult. And he holds up a dagger. It's slightly smaller than a normal sized one. It almost looks like it's actually made to be thrown. And it has a simple handle that's like wrapped with some kind of hardened vine.
We don't have time for this right now. We'll come back and take a look once we've figured out where we need to go. If you guys want to take a look, I don't really care at the moment.
Need anything. I'm more interested in getting to the Merchant Prince.
Moving around.
Result is dying.
Moving around to the next stall, you can see that this Barker proudly proclaims, "This is the stall of the Merchant Prince Queothe," and he sells wonderful tej and insect repellent, certainly a must-have for anyone who is going to disembark into the jungle. No? Okay.
These are all very important, but
Yeah, I don't care. I'm trying to find the Merchant Prince at this point. So that we
yeah.
Oh, the Merchant Prince. You mean my employer? No, I don't know where he is.
No, not your employer. We don't care about you. And he keeps walking.
We're actually, pardon him. We're actually searching for the Merchant Prince Wakanga Otamu. Do you know where his?
You hear the
specific
guy in the
warehouse
next
is?
stall. Hi, yes. I run the stall for Wakanga.
Okay.
Boy.
We need to speak with him.
Oh, what is it about? Do you intend to buy? Does he though?
Yeah, but does he though?
He could totally just be trying to get your money, right?
Yeah. What
Does it
the-
say that above his stall? All the other ones had name tags.
They said usually to advise who they're selling for. This is
Yes, it does say that above their stall. They are. He is telling the truth. This is the one who runs the stall for Wakanga Otamu.
okay.
And if I can find, there it is. As you approach Wakanga's stall, the handout's not loading. As you approach Wakanga's stall, you could see that lining the walls of this cart are on one side there are shelves with little beakers and vials and potions and all types of other things. On the opposite end, scrolls just in little pockets all over the wall. He says, yes, the Merchant Prince Wakanga, he is responsible for the arcane knowledge and informations inside Port Nyanzaru. Whatever you need, lost lore, potions, scrolls, I have it all. How can I help?
We need to speak to him directly.
Oh, yes, of course. Do you have an appointment? And as we're talking with the Choltons, because I don't think I did a real good job explaining, I have a handout to help you look at what the Cholton attire would look like. So let's say it's this happy fellow in the blue there, right in the middle. That's who we're talking to. And he says, yes, you do have an appointment to speak with Wakanga?
We do, indirectly. Do you know Sandra Sylvain? She's a good friend of Wakanga Otamu, and she has arranged a meeting for us to speak with him directly.
Oh, he looks kind of shocked. Totally, you get the impression he expected you to say no, you did not. But he goes, oh. Well, if you have an appointment, then all you have to do, and he kind of leans out of the stall and he points down the road. If you go up those stairs, just to the west, then you'll be in the Merchant Prince's villas if you continue down that way.
Okay. Thank you for your assistance.
Yes?
Thank you. And he'll toss him a silver coin as we start moving.
Oh. Thanks for your generosity?
You're welcome.
I may be back later. I may need some potions.
All right. So we're just gonna straight to the villa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
dying. So.
You're not dying today. I mean, you got some time.
But I don't know.
Yeah, he's not looking too good.
I don't care about much else.
We don't know that.
Besides, I have a question. How does a robot look sick?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us how he was looking sick when we figured it out?
I said he was feeling weak. So can you explain to me, Zolt, what are the external signs that you're under the weather?
So normally Zolt, when he walks around, I mean, when he died and came back, he was messed up and he was like sluggish and stuff. But then he recovered, right? And then he was walking normally like a regular person would walk. But then as the time went on over these 10 days, his movement started to deteriorate. It's less fluid. It's more like pop and locking like a robot. Someone who's pretending to be a robot would look, or what you would think a robot would look, because his movements are more like sluggish and like. You know.
All right. I'm kind of hoping that if you get really sick, you'll start like glitching, like Max Headroom.
I was also going to mention that he's doing full-on Pixar blink. So one eye blinks with the other one is out of sync. So he blinks one eye and then the other. So when you look at him and you're just like talking to him, he doesn't actually blink his eyes, but there's like light there, and it kind of like gets darker in one, you know. So you can tell he's messed up.
So you guys are walking to the merchants' villas. As you do, Zolt is kind of he's starting to get a little loopy. As you're walking, eeny, meeny, miny, Jeff. As you're walking, an elderly man, he seemed like he was just kind of sitting on the side of the road. He had his head down. He looks positively filthy. As you're walking, he reaches up and he grabs you by the wrist. A coin, sir. Give a kindly beggar a coin.
Of course, sir. You go. Have a good day.
So you give him a coin? He doesn't let go of you. Instead, he kind of starts coughing and hacking. He doesn't cover his mouth either. Oh, so nice. Very kind, sir. I will read your fortune. Yes.
Could you read the fortune of my friend over there?
No, and he pulls you in closer. He keeps drawing you down until your face is only inches away from his, and his eyes roll up into the back of his head. Speak to the wise guardian of Oralanga, west of Mbara. She can direct you to that which you seek. Seek. And he falls unconscious.
Could you type out that name you just said?
Which one?
The west of Mbala. Could type it out. That would be great. Thank you. Thank you. And Jeff says, "Thank you, sir. Have a beautiful day."
Yes, run away. All right, on to the merchant's villa. What you see is a merchant prince's villas are some of the largest and most exquisite buildings in all of Port Nyanzaru. And as you approach, very, very large, heavily armored men approach. Stop. None may enter the villa of the merchant princes.
Zalt is dying.
You will die much faster if you enter unannounced.
Well, here we are announcing ourselves. My name is Gib, and we need to speak with. Let me scroll up so I can remember the name. Wakanga Otami. Sindra Sylvain sent us.
They turn to each other and they start talking in a language that none of you understand. One stays, the other one leaves.
I turned to Gib. Gib, what did they say?
I don't know, I don't speak that language. But
But
we'll
you're-
wait here for him to return.
You're from here, so why don't I don't understand? I know
Do
the
you
language.
speak every language of the place where you came from?
I know from the area I'm from. Yes.
Well, I'm not from this port, I'm from the jungles.
To be fair, the peninsula of Chult is pretty big.
I suppose.
A moment later, the guard returns and he simply waves at you in a gesture that says, "Come here."
You walk up to him.
He leads you towards one of the buildings, and as he does, the doors seem to open on their own. And inside, what you find is the villa seems to be lit with continual flame spells, and there is soft music created by magic, obviously, as there are no instruments to be seen, that plays throughout. It's very soft. It seems to have a heavy drum and bass line, but it's not unlike like elevator music. It's very relaxing, very pleasant. The guard shows you to a large set of ornate doors, which open, and inside you see two figures. One is a Cholton male who wears a golden headscarf and has golden beads adorning his luxurious beard. I mean, look at that picture. And standing next to them is what appears to be an elf, a half elf. Not quite certain. And as you walk in, Wakanga gives you a grand bow. He says, "Welcome, friends of Sindra Sylvain. I am Wakanga Otamu. This is Rohan of the Burning Fist. I understand all of you have come to seek the end to the death curse."
Zalt is dying.
Yes. The curse is one that affects us all. Why don't you enter and have a seat?
Well, thank you.
And then Gabe will enter and sit down.
Well, dangerous, yeah. Definitely sit down.
So, I'm assuming Sindra has told you what little there is to know. Yes?
But
Yes, that we know very little.
Well, know that the Otamus are dedicated to helping the people of the world, and we are ready to fund an expedition into the jungle and to find the end, the source, and end the death curse.
excellent.
So, I'm sure you must have questions.
Yes. Do we know where the? So do we have anywhere to start looking for this?
Unfortunately, not. Whatever caused the death curse is a mystery. Divine magics fail, there's little to be had, and expeditions into the jungle are dangerous. It's why the first two groups that Syndra sent have not returned.
First two
We
groups.
do know it's in the peninsula of Chult that it started. You are the patient zeros. This worldwide curse.
Oh,
Hold on.
excuse me. I find your
here.
language offensive. Chult is not the source of this disease. It is simply where it is housed. But Chult is certainly not to blame.
Wait. When were the last two groups here?
Did Syndra not tell you?
No.
We sent a group several days ago, and we sent another expedition at the start of the death curse, roughly 13 days ago.
And when did you lose contact with them?
They have not came back.
Right.
That is why I have called in my friend here. They are a member of the Flaming Fist, and they have an outpost in Fort Belleron. The Fist, they have been fighting against the undead which press upon the civilization that we have here in Port Nyanzaru, and they are somewhat territorial with their region of the peninsula. I have convinced Rohan here to accompany you, to give you and your group safe passage, so that the Fist does not stop you in your journey.
Right. So, did any of them make it to this fort?
Maybe you can answer that, Rohan. Did you know if the Flaming Fist had contact with either of the other groups?
Well, that is a lovely question. Do I know?
I was just seeing what you were going to make up.
Maybe one, maybe two. Certainly in no condition to keep going from where they were. We did our best.
Right.
In any regard, we cannot wait for those other groups to return. With each passing day, those who are affected by the curse continue to wither, like your friend.
Zalt is dying.
Yes, Zolt is dying.
Oh, time is against us. We must move swiftly like the wind. I must ask you, Mr. Otamu, if we go into the wild, do you wish us to remain in contact? Our findings, if we find anything within the deep of Chult.
It is not necessary. If you are successful, we will know, as the death curse will no longer affect those here and home. I only ask that you turn all of your being, your entire attention, to ending the curse.
We don't know where to start.
No, unfortunately, we do not have a heading for you. I would recommend that you try and arm yourselves against the dangers that the jungle has to offer. Prepare the best you can. It will be a long and arduous journey filled with many perils. There is a reason that Port Nyanzaru is the only seat of civilization on the peninsula.
What do you suggest we arm ourselves with? Not in terms of weapon only, but we saw some bog repellent. We don't know how critical that will be, for we are not locals, except, of course, Mr. Gibb over there.
Oh, trust me, we're gonna need some.
Well, in my experience, I would warn you against wearing heavy armor. It is hot inside the jungle, and you'll be needed to traverse deep and heavy water. Wearing heavy armor may prove quite fatal inside the jungle terrain, and I would recommend that you armament yourself in something lighter and more easily to maneuver. I would also say there are many things that you can consider. There are riverways and bodies of water all throughout Chult. Traveling by water is possible if you have someone able to navigate. Otherwise, prepare yourself for a longer but maybe less perilous trip on the land. You will want insect repellent to keep the bugs away from you as best they can, as many insects inside the jungles will carry disease and have the potential to make you sick. Also, you're going to need some source of clean water. There's not many sources of water which are viable to sustain you in the jungle. And what many of us do is we use rain catchers to collect and gather the water. I'd recommend purchasing one in town.
Salt make water.
Oh,
Yes. Or I
I'll
could
make
take,
water.
we could just take the spells to necessary for the water. Do you know of any stalls in the city that sell magical items of power?
Well,
Like
yes,
magical
Ikina Fa sells magical items. It is how he became a merchant prince, after all.
Might we visit one of his stalls?
You surely had passed it on the way here.
We wanted to speak with you before we moved on to doing any sort of shopping. My friend here is dying. I'd like to solve that problem as quickly as possible.
The death
didn't-
curse affects many.
Of course it does. But yes, I was less interested in shopping on arrival as opposed to speaking with you. Now that we have some sort of plan in place, doubling back and checking that those stalls would makes more sense.
I think, other than the troubles that the jungle may offer, the last piece of advice that I have to give before you disembark is just this. Beware the wizards in red. I have seen them moving through Port Nyanzaru, and I know of their misdeeds on the Sword Coast. I have heard through the spies that the Harpers employ that this death curse, whatever has affected these things so, has thrown quite an imbalance into the governmental workings of a far away city. I have heard that these wizards in red have come to Chult, and they would not be very welcoming of anyone who could stand in their path.
So they want the curse solved, though, right? They don't like it. Is that an
I
accurate-
would imagine not. The wizards in red, they have a city based on necromancy. It's governed by liches and the undead. But I hear they seek to control this thing instead of just ending it.
Well, that would be a wonderful place to make an assault, but obviously we have more pressing matters. So if we see any of the wizards in red, we should what?
Beware.
I think
Beware.
killing anyone who follows the words of a lich is no friend of mine. Anyway, yes.
Hey, Blood, thank you for the reset.
Let's
12 months. A
get our
fucking year,
supplies
dude.
for
Thank you for
the
all the
trip
support.
and to go on it. So yeah, thank you for your assistance, and we will find a solution to this. Well, we have to find a solution. I do not want my friend to be dead.
Absolutely. And he stands up and he gestures towards the exit as our business is now concluded.
Was the old man that Jeff talked to and gave money to, was he wearing red?
No.
What about after Jeff killed him? Was his clothes
Nope.
then red?
Nope, not.
Okay.
All right, so we leave Wakanga's villa, and then we do what?
I would be looking for magical items.
Yes, so you've already been told Ikina Fa's stall would be the only place that sells magical items.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
And the same Barker from before. Oh, now you have sense. Yes, buy my wares.
Well, no, I
told you
had
I
a more
would.
urgent matter to deal with at the time. Now I am back.
Well, I have magical ammunition, and it is whatever you need. I have arrows and crossbow bolts and potentially bullets too, if you have those weapons that need them. I also have shields, very fine, made of the sturdiest wood. And then look at this one. He holds it up and it's got they look like horns or tusks that are kind of encircling the shield in like a row of spikes. It says, "Ha! Made from dinosaur that have caught and killed inside the town." And then we have these, and he holds up the daggers again, and then the strange long spears.
Well, Dino Shield is good.
Very good, the best. You cannot get better.
Regular shield?
Oh, yes, sir. This one is infused with magic from the merchant prince himself.
Is he shitting me, or is?
I don't know. Do an Arcana check. See if you can see signs of magical inscription, maybe. Hey, all right. Looking at the shield, you notice there is the giant rune that I had described earlier on the face of the shield, and it certainly looks like some kind of magical inscription.
Salt was distracted. Okay. Salt's dying. All right.
Salt's dying. Hey, Spartan, thanks for the resub, man. Well, this shield I give to you for a special price of 450 gold.
Why special price?
You are heroes, yes? Come to absolve us of death curse, so I help.
Salt have 400.
400, and you give me your shield.
Salt, okay.
Okay. So then he gives you this magical dinosaur shield, and it is a +1 shield.
310 of that is gold, and 9 of it is platinum.
So that's 90 gold. Yep.
Yeah, that adds up to 400.
That's fine. He does not discriminate against coin. After he hands you that very, very well-crafted, unique shield, he immediately pulls out an identical one. Anyone else want?
Can I get it? Can I get that description in chat, please?
What description? It's a +1 shield.
Of the shield. No, I know, but you gave a really good description.
Oh, it's made of fine mahogany wood, and it's encircled with what could be tusks or horns from dinosaurs, giving it a spiked appearance. And on the face is a large emblem painted in red. I'm not typing that shit out. You can type it out.
I would like those.
You would like very special price for you, 450 gold.
What about the same deal he got? I'll give you this shield, and you know.
Absolutely. And then he takes your shield and gives you also a very unique, one-of-a-kind magical shield, and then pulls out another one. Anyone else? I have one more shield that I have and can sell.
I'm not looking for a shield, perhaps. I'm looking for a magical item that might allow me to either walk over water, or maybe something that'll allow me to swim better.
Ha! What you ask is not possible. I have shields, and I have ammunition, and I have the dagger and the yokola.
Do you know of anyone in the city that sells something like that?
Ha! Ha ha ha! No one would sell such a thing. Akini Afa is the merchant prince of these enchanted items. No one else would have the authority to sell such a thing.
You don't have any armor, right? Other than the shields?
Oh, no, I do. I have... They are not special like these, but I do have them.
And by special, you mean they're not magical, right?
Correct. I have given you the complete list of magical items that can be sold.
Alright, let me look at your stupid dagger over there.
Oh. And he pulls it out and he shows it to you. Ooh, fancy dagger. Mechanically is a +1 dagger.
Oh, great. So
Ooh, that's right.
I could throw 2 +1 daggers and then be back to regular ones.
Oh, but look! And he pulls out a drawer and he sets it on the table. There's like 50 of them. He's got so many magical daggers.
Well, how much for the dagger?
Oh, well, these are very fine. These are made from metal, from a meteor. It crashed into Port Nyanzaru, and our smiths go and they harvest the stone and shape them into these daggers that have also been magically enchanted by Akini Afa. They are 500 gold pieces each.
That's a little too... Each?
Each.
That's insane.
I'll tell you what, I will give you 2 daggers for 1,000 gold. Special offer.
But that's not a special offer. That's the same price that it would be normally. You know, I wonder how many customers you'll have once everyone's dead to this death curse that I'm trying to save.
That is a very, very fine point you make. I'll tell you what, special one-time offer. I will give you 3 daggers, 3 of them, for 750 gold. Huh?
That is a good deal.
It is a good deal.
Give literally doesn't have the funds.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
How much did you need?
I have 9 platinum is 90 GP, so I have 440 around there is what I have.
What did you need? Oh.
You
He needs another
7
400.
something?
Oh, yeah, I can't.
So more than what you have.
Yeah, I just spent it all on the shield. Sorry, my power went out. Also, I wanted the description of the shield because
I gave it to you.
His power
Yeah.
went out.
yeah, my power went out. I didn't
Oh,
hear
okay.
you say
I'll
it.
give it to you after
I
the
meant, like,
session.
in words. Yeah, thanks. All right.
All right.
And
Big tusks on it, yeah.
so 750 for the 3 daggers, and you have how much, Gib?
I have... Well, we need to save some money for provisions from the other place, so I mean... I already have this one,
And he flips out his other +1 dagger.
I think we'll be okay for now.
Very well done. Rohan, you know much about the city. You come from Fort Belura, is that correct?
That's where I am stationed, yes.
But in our journey, you're going to come with us?
Well, yes, as far as I'm aware. Unless you
Wonderful.
would be opposed to such things.
Oh, I would be opposed to such a thing. We need the manpower if the dinosaur stories are to be believed. Goodness.
As you say this, it is exactly the right time to have you hear a scream, and then the ground begins to thunder under your feet, and you see a moderately large creature. We'll say it's about twice as big as a horse, and it's got two very tiny arms, big old legs. This would be like an Allosaurus, something big and sharp teeth and angry, goes running down the road as a bunch of children with sticks are yelling and whooping behind it as they chase it.
What is that?
Oh, that's a dinosaur. Have you never seen those before?
One of the kid turns around. He's got some kind of currency in his hand. We are going to the dinosaur races. Yes, and he turns and runs and chases the dinosaur.
Dinosaur races.
That might be a good way to make some money.
Shouldn't
Sure.
the thing be chasing and eating the children?
Oh no, he's outnumbered.
Okay.
You have a bit
Well,
in a dinosaur race.
I would go to the potion shop before I go to a dinosaur race. See if I could get potions and/or bug spraying, things of those natures.
If we're not going to have access to a canoe, we probably need access to a canoe, so we should buy one of those.
Okay, so checking out the different villas. So we're looking at the merchant stalls, right? We still haven't left the little stalls that are owned by the princes, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let me close this for now. At the next stall, owned by what is denoted as Ifin Talro, you can see that Ifin, he deals in beasts and livestock. As you look into his stall, you can see that there are cages with all kinds of animals. Small winged apes. There are lizards the size of horses. There's also snakes with tiny pairs of leathery wings. Dinosaurs that are about the size of a small chicken. And one single behind the stall. You can see that tied up there are two very large animals. One of which is I would be comparable to an ox, except it's covered in scaly, leathery skin with three horns coming out of the front of its face, and another one is covered in spikes from head to tail. You guys want to buy a dinosaur?
How much are the dinosaurs?
Oh, that depends, my friend. What kind?
Well, we would probably need one for each of us to traverse the jungles. Which of these would be best to do it? Gib, do you have any insight on which of these would be best to traverse the jungles with?
Well,
You're
don't
from-
pick the little ones or the snake thingy.
Don't pick the little ones. Well, that
Yes, the little chicken ones. Yeah, they're not good for riding. I've tried.
we've got. Okay. Sure.
Well, friend, let me ask you, what do you intend to use these beasts for? Certainly, the Hadrosaurus could make a good mount for you to ride, but if you intend to ride it into the jungle, I'm afraid that no mount would be able to traverse the terrain. Why, hello, Silmurum. Thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate you.
Then what do you sell them for?
Well, they have many uses, both in the city and around. For example, you could mount on a Hadrosaurus, yes, but it would probably be better served as a beast of burden to carry all of your gear and equipment so that you do not tire easily.
Okay, so it could go through the jungle, but not as a mount, is what you're saying.
Yes, you would be much too slow having it step precariously. Also, mind you, the jungle is very treacherous terrain. There are many untamed beasts and ravenous undead. If you were to take animals into the jungle, you have to be prepared to defend them. And in some cases, abandon them so that you can escape.
So, in other words, you're telling us we shouldn't buy this thing. Got it.
Not as a mount, no.
How much is this beast of burden that we were speaking of? This
Well, a
Hadrosaurus?
Hadrosaurus is 200 gold pieces.
200.
If you want something a little more resilient, then the Ankylosaurus in the back here. He could probably defend itself from oncoming threats, carry enough equipment to accommodate your whole party, and is quite hardy and could survive if attacked.
Hmm.
And how much is that one?
That would be 500 gold pieces.
500 gold.
I think that one's a good deal.
Yeah, I agree. Do we want to go in on this, everyone here?
I'm a little
Rohan, you are new to the
happy
party.
to provide what I have.
I'll put in like 150 towards it if we want to do the more beefier of creatures. It is called an Ankylosaurus.
That is correct.
Ankylosaurus. That's a weird name, but okay. Yes. If you will, I have 150. I can put on that. Anyone else want to go in on this beast?
It would
No.
match your 150.
Okay.
Yes, I do believe I will also do this. And I don't actually remember what Jeff's share is because I joined your party after, but assuming he has 200, he will provide the remaining 200 for the Ankylosaurus.
Sure.
And he says, you know, it's just like a horse, but bigger.
Much bigger.
I told you before, I've worked in stables before. I'm quite good with horses. I'll try to make him our friend so that he's a reliable friend.
Now, another question. Do any of you guys know how to drive a boat?
Right. No, that is outside of my known skills.
While you discuss, I will draw up the paperwork.
Okay, thank you. So no one has water vehicles proficiency?
Is that
Not,
like an
not me.
actual thing?
I'm a cleric.
Yeah.
Is that an actual thing?
Like, yeah, where would it be in their proficiencies?
All right. Well, he comes back a moment later. Here is your pedigree for this Ankylosaur, and I shall have you know that all of our beasts already have a name. That they have been gifted glorious names that are fitting of the honor and tradition of House Ifan. And this one, he looks at the paper, this is Andy. Andy the Ankylosaurus. So here you go, here's your paper.
So, down.
Wow, what a lovely and original name.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Wait.
does he have? Does Andy have like a pack on him already that we can start putting stuff
Oh
onto?
no, he would not. Would you need equipment to? I sell those as well.
Well, he.
Right.
So we just have a dinosaur with a leash on it right now, is what you're saying, right?
Yes, that's
Yes.
what we have.
So we would need some sort of pack to go on him, strap on him that we
Yes.
could put our into. Yes.
Yes.
And that didn't come with the purchase.
No, he said that it didn't come with the
I mean, I can give you a
Didn't
saddle.
say
Would you
that.
like a saddle?
No, we don't want to ride him. We need packs for him to have.
We need something. We need something like a pack that we can put on him.
Yes. Like saddle bags, you know.
Yes, like a plethora of saddlebags that we can. Does that make sense? We're not going to ride him. We can't. We're going into the forest. We've already explained this part.
Yes. Yes.
So do we? Is there like?
Hmm.
Is there like a saddle but not a saddle? So like just a pack. Like I'm wearing a backpack now. Is
Yes.
there a backpack with the
Yes,
ankle
there
strap?
are, and I will give you those prices as soon as I find them. It's hold on, mounts and vehicles. That's the section I want. Tack, harness, and drawn vehicles. Saddles. There we go. All right, tack, harness. So we have. There's barding. You can buy barding for it if you really want to. I'm sure that would be fun. Saddlebags are 4 gold pieces and can accommodate 8 pounds of equipment. So basically, for every 4 gold pieces you spend, you can get more and more cubic feet of storage, right?
And this guy can carry.
A ton. He is a beast. Literally, he is a giant walking tank.
Okay. I guess I'll buy. I mean, it's
Just give me 40 gold. That's
I'll give
that's
you
like
40
80
gold.
pounds of gear.
sure. I'll do 4. I'll put in another 40 to be. I'll just. I'll give him 4 platinum to make him feel.
Ooh, fancy.
There we go. So we have the beast of burden. Now we can put our gear on here, rations and
Yes.
and
If
the,
you look in your journal, everybody should have access to the Ankylosaurus token. And I think I will add handout. Let's go with a handout. And anything. Okay. Anything that you would want to store on Andy, I guess you can just write it into the handout. Right? And then on your sheets, I guess you could just mark the carry weight of that item to 0. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not carrying it, it's on Andy. However you guys want to manage that is fine with me.
Jeff suddenly realizes something. Goodness! He turns to Rowan. You're about to come with us for several 10 days, and we haven't even introduced us to you. Ha! My name's Jeff. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Rowan.
All right, not all at once then. Pleasure to meet you as well, Mr. Jeff.
It
Result
gives
is-
you a look up and down. I'm Gib. I would shake your hand, but don't touch me.
Oh,
You don't
no,
want to do that.
I completely understand.
Zalt is dying.
You've said that a few times, yes.
Zalt is dying.
Hmm. Are you comfortable with the idea?
Zalt died
you'd
2 weeks
like it.
ago. So it wasn't that bad last time. Zalt's okay.
Very well then. Hopefully
What,
we can get
what-
it resolved in a quick manner.
What do you do exactly?
In what sense?
Like,
There are many
I have these, and he shows you his wrists that have just a bunch of throwing daggers. What do you do?
Ah, well, I have these. And he's going to hold up his hands, which are completely unarmed. And he has some, what appear to be more decorative at this point, kind of bracers on his wrist.
Alright, I see.
I'd
He-
show you a bit more, but I'd rather not do that when I don't have to. It's a bit flashy.
Gib whispers over to Jeff, this guy doesn't have any weapons. He might be useless.
Oh,
Ooh.
now I absolutely have weapons, and I will pull out a nice dagger.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm just much better with not using it. I can.
Encroaching on your territory, Gib.
everybody, it's just trying to learn. This guy's got a dagger.
So, Mr. Rowan, you have been trained in a monastery of sorts to use your knuckles in an efficient manner, are you?
I haven't been in a monastery in a long time, but yes, I have.
Which tradition, monastic order, have you followed the teachings of? I'm curious to write about you in the future.
Well, how shall I put this? I was raised in a monastery known as the Order of the Blue Dragon. It's not around anymore, but what they taught us there was how to channel our ki into different shapes, you see. The shape of everyone's ki is different, and it manifests itself in its own ways when it needs to.
Like when I hit something really hard, that's my key.
Not quite. You see, everyone has their own ki. It sort of. It's been a while since I've explained this to anyone. You'll have to forgive me. Ki manifests itself in every walk of life. It's in your fist, for instance. Some monks can channel it into their weapons as well to make them a bit more deadly, let's say. And some are able to manifest it as weaponry itself. For you, you'd more than likely use it to, as you say, hit things. So yes, it is part of your fist, but it is not the punch itself. Ki is you and what you do with it.
Right.
It took me a while to understand myself. I've been doing this for quite a many years.
Oh,
This is Ersk, by the way,
Yeah. Yes.
and this is dangerous. They're both quite rude.
Distracted is the better term to use. I apologize, Rohan, but my friend here, Zolt, is afflicted by this curse, and my brain has been scattered quite dramatically from it because he is, as he always says, dying, and I really don't want that to happen. So everything I can do to
Again,
stop him from dying, I'm putting my
Oh, no.
focus on.
Absolutely.
And anything outside of that, not really that important to me.
That makes
I'm not
sense.
saying you
Can
want an important
stop
person.
for a moment to take a deep breath for yourself, because
You're
you're
not
not
showing
going to be
important
doing
person.
your best
I
work if
think you
you
are an
are.
important person, but for now we need to solve the death curse problem, and afterwards we can. And I'm sure while we're traveling along, we'll get to know each other better. It's just right this second, not in the best of mindsets, as I'm sure you can see.
He does this. This is pretty common, by the way.
No,
So yeah, with having the ankylosaur here, and I would probably look for the bug spray place as well as yeah, we need bug spray. We need a boat. And Gibbs said you were looking for boats.
If we don't have someone that can do water vehicles, I can only do land. So
I can pilot the boat fine. But I'll ask you a very fair question. What are we doing with lovely Andy here if we're going on the water?
oh, he can walk alongside us. It'll work out great.
perhaps he is buoyant.
Yeah, he can swim, right? You know.
Yeah, that is a great question. I don't think after forking out the money for the Ankylosaurus that the boat should be an option anymore.
I
You're
guess.
welcome to do whatever with your money. I'm just making a very fair point.
Well, where's the bug repellent then? If we
Well,
weren't
remember,
going-
you're in this villa, and they're all like in a circle. So if you just move to the next stall,
Right over there.
right there, then you see Kweathe's stall, And
I'm quite certain you passed them on the way in.
yes, you did. In Koyathe's salt, you just see literally just 2 items. And you can see that the barker of this stall is just this elderly man. He seems to be mixing things together with a mortar and pestle, and then as you walk up, he's kind of like pouring it into one of the containers and sealing it. He says, "Ah, yes. Are you here for Tej, or are you here for insect repellent?"
Insect repellent. How much is it?
Well, it is easy to make, and I can sell it to you very, very cheap. I must ask you though, do you want a block of repellent? And he holds up like this brick. Do you want this, or do you want this? And he holds up a gourd that has like the paper seal on it. It's which repellent do you want?
We're going into the jungle for probably a significant amount of time. Which do you think would be better?
Then you need both. And lots of
Wow.
it. This you burn, and the smoke will repel the insects, keep them away from you. So when you break for camp, you will want to burn one of these bricks. But then this, and he holds up the gourd, this is a salve. And you put the salve on your skin, and it will protect you while you are traveling. So you will want both, and you will want enough to cover you for many, many days. This brick, when it burns, will burn for, say, 8 hours. And then this, when you cover it, will protect you for, like, say, 15 hours. Yeah? So you put the salve on when you leave for the day, you burn the brick when you break for camp, and to keep everyone healthy.
Will the salve cover the entire group of us here, the entire 6 of us?
Oh, no.
One salve for the day for all 6 of us?
No. This salve, yeah, inside the gourd, you have 20 applications.
Right.
Yeah, so you'll probably want. It depends on how long you are going to be gone.
Probably. So, in one application is the day's prevention, day's coverage, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think we'll need at least 1 gourd for all of us, and then 20 bricks.
Okay. Gourd is 1 gold. 1 gold. Brick
Okay.
is 1 silver.
Okay. So total price is 8 gold. Done. I give him 8 gold.
So, Rohan, how far to get to your camp there? How long?
Just one moment. I'm going to purchase 9 other gourds.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I was gonna purchase more too.
It's 20 applications and 1 application per day. If each one of us has
How
a
long do you
gourd,
think it'll take us to explore the jungle?
Yeah, that's
I got 20 bricks. I mean, how many?
It'll take
More,
8
if you're after
uses.
more than 20 days, Zolt that is dang near close to death.
Unless he levels up before then.
Sure.
Yeah, 18 uses in that gourd. That's 3 days. So just,
per gourd.
and then we would have 2 uses left in that for the 4th day. So only 2 of us would get covered.
So we have how many total gourds are we getting? You're getting 9. I'm getting 6.
So there's 10.
Oh, you got 6 gourds.
So it's
Okay.
200 applications.
I got
Oh
6.
no!
Okay, keep it.
I got 6 with 20 bricks.
Uh-oh.
I got 8. I paid 8 gold total for the 20 bricks and then the 8 gourd.
Is
or
that
the 6
right?
gourd. Yeah. 1 gold for the gourd, 1 silver for the brick. You just said that.
Yes.
So
So you
8
bought
gold.
eight bricks.
No, I bought 20 bricks,
So that'd be 20 silver.
which is 2 gold,
Yes.
and 6 gourds is 6 gold. So I paid 8 gold.
Okay.
So 6 gourds from me. How many did you buy? Give.
I would buy another 6.
Okay, so there's 12 gourds right now. We have significant number of.
I'm
we have
assuming you
200
guys are just going to have Andy carry all this, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
putting. That's why I'm
Cool,
editing
cool.
it now.
Okay, so if we're doing 6 and 6, then I'll buy 8 to have an even 20.
Zolt
So
is immune
20
to
gourds.
disease. So
Do we want more bricks then? Yeah.
I think 20 bricks is enough. Because like you said, if we're out there for more than 20 days,
Zolt is already dead.
yeah.
well, close.
Well, yeah.
You know
My power went out again. I don't know if I was involved in the math, but like I said, Zolt is immune to disease, so I
That
don't
just means
need
it'll
to-
last longer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, if we're going this many gourds, actually, I would probably go ahead and do 30 bricks. So I'd hand over another gold.
That's
Cool.
fair.
Just there we go. And then that's it. That's it, I think. I mean, unless we have somebody who can like those healing potions are always handy to have.
Here, Dangerous. You're paying a lot here.
Thank you. How? Wow, that's too much.
For the ankle sword, you're throwing out money, and I'm bad with money here.
All right. So how much do these bricks and insect salves weigh? So we can.
The ankylosaur can
Well, hiya,
carry
Mercs.
pretty much anything.
How you guys doing?
by wicked easily.
Sure.
I don't think we have to worry about it.
Do we want to buy more rations? I only have 10 days supply with them.
Yeah, we do need more food.
Okay. How much for food?
It'll be the listed cost for rations in the PHP. So what is it? Isn't it like a silver for a day's worth of rations?
No.
No, rations are expensive. They're 5
They're
gold a ration.
like 5
Oh,
gold
there.
per-
Yeah. See, that was a test. You guys passed. Good. Congratulations. Now, mind you, okay. When it comes to food, you do always, and it's the same thing with water. You always have the option to forage as you travel, but that involves a check. If you fail the check, then you don't have food for that day, which sucks. So it's entirely up to you if you want to collect rations and take those with you. On the topic of water, that's another thing, right? Because how many water skins of water do you want to take with you? And there is still the option to buy the rain catcher, which Akin Afa also has here. Buying a rain catcher costs only 1 gold. It weighs 5 pounds, and it's a device. It can cover a 5-foot square, and it collects like humidity and moisture from the air, and it can catch 2 gallons of drinking water per rain and hold up to 8 gallons of water. So again, I know Zolt says he can use a spell to create water, but I mean, it's only a gold piece. It's
Right, but I'm doing it every morning
Input
anyways.
And he says,
First, we'll buy a couple rain catchers to put
Well,
on.
we also have the tent. Can't we just use the tent as a rain catcher? Like,
Well, what I'm saying is every morning I create 10 gallons of water for Gib, so I could very easily fill everyone's water
sure.
skins.
You can do that if you want, but
And
do you
do this
really
thing.
want to burn a spell slot
that's the
every
thing.
morning?
I only sleep for 6 hours, so I have 2 hours where they're still sleeping and I'm not. So I can use a first level spell packed slot and then take a short rest before they're awake.
so that being
I
said,
don't know. That's getting pretty close to the coffee lock. I want to put a squash on that. That plan does not work.
Well, then what? I mean, it's a single first level spell slot. It's not like a huge deal. I don't run owls anymore.
I mean, it's also 1 gold. Like, whatever. Might as well have it and not need it. Then,
We'll buy the rain catcher, 1 gold.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Just purchase.
Yeah, you just buy it, you throw it in Andy's bag, and then we're good.
Yeah.
and you know what? Speaking of Andy,
Yeah, we'll need
special
food.
trick that Jeff does. He will touch Andy's back. He will cast tongues on Andy. He says,
Okay.
and he says, Andy, welcome to the team.
I hope we all survive to the end. Andy, do you have family in the jungle? Do you know?
He just and shakes his head.
Does not respond in words and stuff.
No, well, he doesn't know a language, so he wouldn't gain the ability to speak. But he can understand you when you speak.
Oh, I mean, oh, I thought it gave ability to think, to speak. That.
No, spell grants a creature you touch the ability to understand spoken language.
Yeah.
Idiot! I'm a fucking idiot.
He doesn't have the intelligence to speak, but he knows what you're saying.
I should have taken speak with animals. I'm a fucking idiot.
That's okay.
I thought it.
There's always time to change your spells later, right?
Yeah, well, if I level up.
But for now, Andy's like, yeah. He paws the ground like a talking horse.
Do you think that we will need food for Andy?
Andy nods his head.
Okay. What does Andy like eating? Do you know?
He starts nodding, like gesturing towards like plants.
Okay. Let's find some food for Andy.
Well, I'm sure there's tons of plants in the jungle. Can't
Yeah,
you
he
just
could
eat
probably
those?
he could probably forage. Yeah. Oh, but sir, while you were here, can I interest you in some tej? I sell it in addition to the insect repellent, and it is a very nourishing fermented drink that we make here. Its base is honey. It is slightly alcoholic, mind you, but it is very, very full in nutrients. So if you are in the jungle for long periods of time, tej can be the difference between starvation or survival.
How much is tej?
Well, you see, we sell it by the gallon. And a gallon of tej will cost you only 2 silver pieces.
Gallon of tej, 2 silver pieces.
Yep.
Can I try a sample of it?
Sure. 2 silver pieces.
Wait a minute. That's not a sample. That's a whole gallon.
Yes.
We want 30 of the tej for
30 gallons?
Wait a minute. Wait.
It's a good thing we got that Ankylosaurus.
I'm saying 20 of tej for 40 gold or 4 gold?
Yes.
Okay.
That's so much. Maybe the
You guys are gonna have a
Ankylosaurus
party
can't
in the
carry
jungle.
all this. Yeah.
But if we need food in a wicked way, I think that's fine.
Now, mind you, I will mind you, right? Tej provides nutrients. It will nourish the body. But as it has no substance, it does not stop starvation. Yes. It'll keep you alive, but just that. So, be warned.
20 gallons will keep us.
We gotta get crunk.
I'm not big on alcohol, so one of those will put me down. So we're gonna buy rations, or do we want to do like a purify food and water thing?
You guys are gonna practice some intermittent fasting through the jungle.
We should buy some rations, but forage and only use the rations when we need to.
Sure. I mean, I've got 10 on me, 10 of the rations. I'll have some
Also
on us. So, yeah, that sounds fair. If everyone has rations, or you need to stack up on rations, maybe buy some. And I think that's it. Do we need anything else that anyone can think of?
Let me see my list of things here that can be sold. Canoe we ruled out. We have insect repellent. We have a rain catcher. Yes, and the only other special item in Fort Nyanzaru was the Yikolwa, which we have opted not to investigate. So I think that's it.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess there is one more thing to consider. All those flyers that were advertising a guide. We kind of
don't need that garbage.
Rohan, you're from here. Can you guide us through the forest?
Are you talking to Rowan right now?
Yes, I am. Turned to Rohan and was like, "You're from here. Can you guide us through the forest?"
I'm just going to.
Literally gaping, looking at you right now.
Yep, Rohan's just going to be like, well, I can guide you as far as I've been, but I haven't been to the deeper parts of the jungle. And I will turn to the grown and say, I assume that your friend here would more than likely be able to be a bit more helpful once we get farther in. Have you not asked him if he would be able to? I can only assume.
The problem is, Rohan, and I can appreciate that. The problem is that he's really good at talking a good game, but when it comes to push shove, he's generally so slow on the turn.
Hey guys, Twitch chat just
so-
pointed out that if you ever run out of rations, you can always eat Andy.
No.
horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible.
Bad people.
Whoever says that is wrong in so many ways. No.
Andy is friend, not food.
That's right. And Jeff, he puts his hand to his heart. He looks at Andy and he says, Andy, I swear to you, if we come to a point where we no longer have rations or anything, I will let myself be eaten before you are eaten. Have my word.
He can understand you, which is great. That's
Yeah, so he nods.
So that's my issue with that, Rohan. But if what do you think?
What
Give
time did I have failed to do a task that I said I could do?
all right, Give. So we're putting our hand on Give. Is everyone okay with that? We don't want to use Iku, the woman who gives her money to charity. I think that might not be a bad idea. Helping someone who wants to help the people of the city more.
Am I not helping the city get rid of the death curse for free? I don't understand.
You know
Also-
what? Why don't I just take a look at the board here and I'll give you my honest opinion.
Yes. And also consider this dangerous. While it is true that Iku has her heart in the right place, we have just spent such a high quantity of money. I don't know if we can even afford to pay her.
Well, it'd be 150 gold up front, and then 5 gold pieces a day.
Did you see my flyer in the chat? Papa Warbucks.
Need a guide for the perilous jungles of Chult? Well, look no further than Gib Smallstab, honored warrior of the Smallstab Grung clan. My clan has lived in these jungles for centuries, and we know how to survive. In terms of success, I'm untouchable. Literally, 10 gold pieces a day. So this is where Gib is just like, well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna go guide some other party through the jungle.
I'm gonna look over this board. With my criminal background, do I know if any of these people are scam artists? Lead you out into the jungle, stab you, come back. Oh no, they all died, kind of people.
Oh shit, man! I gotta. I have to look that out. Okay, you would know that Salita has a very poor reputation, and if you look over Salita's handout, you could see that. Whereas other people talk about their merits, her selling point was just put everybody else down, right? Mm-hmm. So very negative, very hostile, and you know that she has a very, very poor reputation of leading people out into the jungle and then they don't return. I think this is all off the top of my head, by the way. Farul and Gondolo are known to be somewhat shady characters too, although most people also report that they are fairly harmless and very much useless in combat. So even though you know their motivations are not exactly what is advertised, that you don't run the risk of like injury or death.
What is the Is Rohan? Do you know anything about the Iku woman?
You would not. Zach
Unfortunately,
Manakis, thank you, 31 months, man. Appreciate you.
There's nothing I can tell you right now. Salita's a bit of a mess. She may or may not slit your throat in the jungle and then come back with blood on your hands. And Barul and Gondolo, bit of a mysterious set of characters, but overall fairly harmless. They don't know how to wield a dagger over the pencil that they used to write this listing. So they would be. Oh, look, a map.
Yeah, that was supposed to be in your journal earlier, but it just
Speaking
now
of
showed
map,
up.
how far away is my lovely, lovely place that I came from?
I thought you would never ask. So let's go to this map. And this, I do apologize, is going to take forever to load because it is very large. And if we follow the pattern that we established already, it's probably got dynamic lighting on. Who did that? Okay, so you see this map actually has the same map that you had before, and all of it is blacked out except for what is on the handout you already have. And if you scroll in, zoom in real close like, and look here at the top, you'll see Port Nyanzaru and Fort Balurian are very clearly marked. And Fort Balurian is about 70 miles away.
Speaking, you're muted right now.
Sends a bitch. All right. Well, I didn't say anything that you can't actually see. It's about 70 miles away.
All right.
So do we want to spend 150 gold for this Iku woman, or do we think we can trust Gib to lead us through the jungle? I mean, Gib is a decent enough person. He isn't talking about how wonderful he is. Zolt, you trust Gib? Then I will follow you with your trust of him. And why don't we give Gib a try? Let's give Gib a try.
Just if anyone's interested, Gib hails from near Jahaka Bay.
Jahaka Bay. Now I have to look where that is. Aha!
It's right there.
I'm gonna write that shit on my map.
Huh?
Yeah, his clan is known to get into scuffles with the kobolds that live in the mountains.
I am very glad that you have decided to clarify this.
Yeah.
Because then
Here.
that means that I have so much more leeway to fuck with you. I mean, to make engaging encounters for the party.
Here. I put his entire little backstory thing in the chat for you.
Every
in
fight,
Discord.
all kobolds.
So there we go. Small stab clan. Right there. I think the black was better. There we go. Let's get rid of that gnarly there. Near. Up there. That's
Taking a closer look at the map. This place, this peninsula of Chult is immense. I am wondering, how many miles can we cover in a day?
that is a great question that I actually don't know the answer to off the top of my head. Okay. Let's put a pin in that and circle back to it for now, because that is relevant. I think I heard the party say that they did not want to hire a guide. We're gonna let Gib be our navigator, right?
We believe in
Everyone
Gib.
seems to have trust in him, well, for the most part.
Okay. So then,
He's a bad idea, but
with that being said, we have made our preparations. There's nothing preventing us from disembarking now. Okay? So if you guys are ready, then we can get ready for the good stuff that comes next. That cool with everyone? Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right. So then that's where we're going to end for today, right? And we will start next week with us entering the jungles of Chult. However, before we wrap, there are two things that I need to ask you guys about the kind of experience that you want for this game. as you can see from this map right here that we're looking at, Tomb of Annihilation is the kind of game it's described as a hex crawl, right? And the idea is that as we are going into the jungle, we need to find the source of the death curse. We don't know where it is, so we are going to explore this vast and unknown wilderness. So, in a hex crawl, the amount of time that you can travel each day is severely limited, which really makes things more difficult in regards to our cursed friend. Because if we're stuck wandering the jungle for a great period of time, for example, if we become lost and it puts more distance on our trip, that's going to take longer to travel, and then we are in a bad position, right? So your first option is, do we want a hex crawl experience? Do we want to actually just kind of navigate blindly? It all comes down to checks on which direction we head, or do we want a more traditional experience where we are just exploring? I will choose encounters that we're going to have throughout the jungle and kind of craft those to our party and the experience that I think you'll enjoy. Or do we want to explore and kind of go up against the clock? What would you like?
I like option 1.
So
I'm leaning towards option 2. I think that would be like more interesting to have you to like know that you're picking things that you know that we're probably going to like interacting with.
yeah. Okay, so 1 and 1.
I kind of agree.
I am leaning similarly to Blood Dragon in terms of the traditional experience.
Okay, I will say a lot of people just like hex crawls are like big old dungeons. It's not an experience everyone will enjoy. They tend to be very tedious. I think it's fun, like, because then you guys are really 100% in control, but it can be a lot of sessions of just being lost in the jungle and not knowing what's gonna happen.
Well, we have Gib. We don't need to worry about you.
Oh yes,
I'm not
sure-
worried about that.
I'm sure not buying a guide isn't going to hurt the hex crawl at all.
The hex crawl is great. I don't know why Blood Dragon's against the hex crawl. He thinks Gib is so
Are
wonderful.
you confident, Gib?
Like, he would want a hex crawl. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I mean, I don't mind doing a hex crawl if that's what everyone else wants to do.
Well, so far, I think Taryn's the only one advocating for the crawl.
Yeah.
So
I wanna-
I just think it'll draw things out too much.
Okay, so all right, I will set the course. It's not going to be linear if that's what you're concerned about. There will still be options, and it'll adapt based on what you guys choose. But okay, understood. The second thing I wanted to ask you about, okay? The Tomb of Annihilation. This is a difficult campaign, right? More so because our I don't know if you guys were aware, but Zolt is dying. Zolt is dying. So Tomb of Annihilation has an option that is so affectionately referred to as the meat grinder mode. And we're already doing Tomb of Annihilation, so I thought I would present the option to the party for you to, and this has to be something that the majority would agree on, if you want to play in meat grinder mode. And meat grinder mode, what that means is that when I build my encounters, I will be deliberately trying to challenge you and to make fights and that are that will require a bit of intelligence and careful rationing of your resources. Also, in meat grinder mode, if someone is dying, they only succeed on a 15 or higher. So it becomes more difficult to not die and stabilize in combat. So, is anyone interested in the difficult experience?
What is the positive aspect of the meat grinder mode?
I was hoping the only one dying.
Character creation?
Yeah, more
You
frequent
didn't roll
character
up the
creation.
characters.
That is something I cannot reveal. Maybe there's more and better equipment found in the dungeons. Potentially, we level up faster, but you will not know the benefit for doing it. The real benefit is the experience we have along the way.
If Gib dies, you guys are screwed.
I think that
Oh no, we don't have a guide.
Yeah.
we're
And if I obviously I can't be resurrected, but I doubly can't be resurrected because my soul's going right to that hag.
Well, maybe.
I think we should do meat grinder. I think it'd be fun.
I'm up for trying it if everyone else is.
Okay,
On a
so
mechanical standpoint, the only way Zolt is gonna get more max HP is if he levels up. If we get tougher challenges, it means more XP, it means more levels up for him.
that is
It
true.
means he might survive.
That
so
is
let's
true.
do it.
All right, so and this is something if you guys find out that you don't enjoy the oppressive combats, we could always just flip it later. That's fine. Not gonna hurt my feelings.
In that case, I mean, I was gonna say yes anyways, but yeah, if we can always, if it doesn't,
I
if
vote
it's
for
like
Meat
rough.
Grinder.
All right,
Jeff
Twitch,
is
you
horrible.
heard them. They want it, so send me your wandering monster ideas. We're just gonna fucking punish these guys. It's
Yeah.
We
Don't you wish
counter
I
a
was,
T-Rex the
don't
second we
you
enter them.
wish I was actually on the other side there? I'd be sending you all sorts of things.
all
And
right.
hard and left.
So that's gonna be it for today. I'm really excited for next week. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.